The college football playoff field is set, and the Fighting Irish are hosting a college football playoff game. We break down the bracket next.
By Samauza, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go, 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 go!
You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, 5-5 rocket touchdown!
Notre Dame is number one.
It's a game of who's going to flinch first. We know that it won't be Notre Dame.
Hello again, everybody. I am Landon Traylor, joined by Logan Traylor. Dylan Kearns joins us for today, and John Richards is with us as always as well. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish come in as the 7 seed in the newly expanded college football playoff selection. I don't agree with the two teams that are in front of the Fighting Irish, but I understand it. Northern Illinois and the conference championship losses from the two teams that are in front of us are probably the reason that we are the 7th seed. JR, immediate reaction to the 7th seed for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
We're hosting a home playoff game. We've checked off a lot of our goals. Now it's time to go win. You got to win. And this is a dangerous team that we're playing against.
They're all right. Logan, immediate reaction.
Obviously a little bit confused on the process of what the committee did this year. IU could have a case to be pissed off as well.
Right.
It's awesome for not only college football, but the state of Indiana to have two teams not only in it, but playing against each other, which is good and bad. But like JR said, we were able to check off a lot of boxes. We achieved what we wanted to achieve in the regular season. Now it's time to go win. It's time to find out who you truly are.
Absolutely. This is where we find out who we truly are. Dylan, immediate reaction here to the 7th seed.
It was very interesting. I loved seeing the way it was all broke down by everybody involved there. But when it comes to the positioning, I understand this show's probably going to get a lot of views. Indiana has never seen, they're going to be Googling on YouTube, oh, Indiana, oh, here we go, let's see. And they want to see the first thing that pops up, and due to our timely show, this is going to be one of the things that they watch. So I want to play their side a little bit before they hammer all of you guys. I get Logan's take there when it comes to them being upset too. Look, both teams have one loss. One of those losses came to a team that's hosting a home playoff game. The other one came to a team that's non-existent. So I kind of see both sides when it comes to Indiana and Notre Dame. Their strength of schedule was terrible. They did lose the one game that they played, so I think it's fitting for them to kind of play that game here. Notre Dame, they get a break here, in my opinion. Say what you want about IU. They're fugazis, in my opinion. They're a team that, sure, like I said, they have not been battle tested. I would, if you threw South Carolina in Notre Dame, I'd be scared because they're a battle tested team. They played several big schools this year and have fought against all of them. I would have feared South Carolina. I would have feared another team like that has played those big games. IU hadn't played anybody except for Ohio State. And not only that, they showed that they weren't disciplined in that game. And that's something, if Notre Dame gets a couple breaks their way, they can really shove it right down their throat, big style. So that's definitely something that could factor into this. I love the matchup. Going into the weekend, I know you got to play who you got to play, and you got to beat everybody if you want to win it all. I wanted IU, and we got them.
Yeah, I've wanted IU for a while. I think I said it when they came into the spotlight a little bit. I think after that Northwestern win was when I said, all right, this team could be something. I think they're going to be solid. I think we beat them in every single category except one, and that's the head coaching position. I'll take our offensive coordinator over theirs. I'll take our defensive coordinator over theirs. I love Kurt Cignetti. Dylan,
get out of here.
Get out of here? Yeah. I mean,
get out of here.
Google him. He has some swagger and confidence that Marcus does not have. And you know what he does that Marcus doesn't, I will say? He wins.
No, he doesn't. Marcus, I mean, sure, he wins. He wins against scrub ass schools. You throw him up against any scrub ass school, he can beat him. But does
I
he
mean,
have ranked wins? Did he go into College Station week
no,
one, firing up and beat
no,
somebody? There's no way in hell you believe that, Landon. I
no.
know you. You
No, I
can't
know you know
truly
me.
look
I know
yourself in
you.
the mirror
Listen,
and
listen,
think,
listen, 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 listen to me. Listen to me. This
come
guy
on.
coached under Nick Saban. All right. This guy
Here we
has
go.
won everywhere that he went, and he rebuilds programs. I mean, I listen, I've been hard on IU all year. I will say though that Kurt Signetti has done a phenomenal job at Indiana University, and I think the only position that Indiana beats us at is the head coaching position. We'll discuss all of this in the Indiana preview coming up next week, but I was just putting that out there that I think we beat them in every single category, and it is a favorable matchup towards us. JR, are you going to be with me here? Signetti over Freeman? Somebody?
Um, I think that's fair. I think one thing that you need to understand and look at is this is not foreign territory for Signetti. He's been coaching in a playoff format before. He understands how to prepare his team for this sort of a format. I'm sure they're going to learn from what took place at Ohio State. They're certainly going to be prepared well. They're going to be game planned well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect that they're going to fumble a punt and give up a punt return for a touchdown. Maybe that happens, but chances are better than not that that won't. Um, he does win. They slipped. No shame in losing to Ohio State on the road, where basically it was going to be a tie ball game going into halftime if they didn't fumble the punt.
Yeah.
So I think that's fair. We don't know how our coaching staff is going to react in the playoffs. It's a good thing we're at home. We don't have to worry about a lot of things. We can focus a little bit more on prep and less on travel. But yeah, I wouldn't wholeheartedly disagree with you, Landon.
All right, thank you. Notre Dame has the second hardest path to the championship based on seeding. We would have to go through the 2 seed Georgia and then a 3 seed or 6 seed or 11 seed Penn State, SMU, or Boise State. Let's take a look at the rest of the field if we can. Number 1, Oregon. Number 2, Georgia. Number 3, Arizona State. And number 4, Boise State. Those 4 teams receive first round byes. They are the 4 highest ranked conference champions. Let's take a look at the rest of the field. 5, Texas versus number 12 or versus 12, Clemson. The winner would take on Arizona State in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. 6, Penn State versus 11, SMU. The winner would take on Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona. 7, Notre Dame versus 10, Indiana. The winner would get Georgia in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. And lastly, 8, Ohio State versus 9, Tennessee. The winner would get Oregon in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. The semifinal bowls were released today as well. Clemson, Texas, or Arizona State will be taking on Oregon, Tennessee, or Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, and SMU, PSU, and Boise State, will take on Notre Dame, Indiana, or Georgia in the Orange Bowl in Miami. So, the big story of the college football playoff selection show, there's no Alabama in the college football playoff for just the 3rd time in the playoff era history. Dylan, this doesn't really come as a surprise. After seeing SMU really battle back, I thought they were done. They came back and proved that they were a playoff team. So this does not come to any surprise from the playoff committee.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. I will say what goes for their case here. They beat the SEC champ.
Correct.
And
yes.
they're ranked number 2. So, I mean, they're both ranked number 2, and they were also number 2 in the whole damn, going to the playoff. So, I think when you look at it, like, they definitely have a case. But then again, you can't lose to Oklahoma. If you don't lose to Oklahoma, I think they are completely easily in when it comes here. And I think another thing that really hurt them that no one's talking about, why are you scheduling Mercer in November? Like, if you played any average team, like if you played a decent team there, you're probably helping your case.
Mhm.
Mercer on November 16th could be the reason that Alabama football does not have a chance to win a national championship this year. Like if they truly scheduled, I don't care what it was, maybe throw a Michigan State, maybe you throw a team that's in a decent conference there, an ACC foe. You could bring down. That would be a big game. That would be something that could mean something. Maybe you play a Miami that week. Like there are teams when they're non-conference schedule that just completely shat the bed. And Kellen DeBoer and the Crimson Tide were one of them. So, do they have a case? Yeah, they beat the SEC champ, but they also lost bad games and scheduled a terrible, terrible opponent late in the year.
Yeah, very true, very true. It's part of the kind of the SEC takes that week off before their rivalry week if they play a rival. If they play a conference rival, they do that. I remember Alabama played the Citadel. Auburn played like New Mexico here and there, whatever it is. No Ole Miss either. No South Carolina and no Miami. Lane Kiffin called the Wambulance. He's been whining on Twitter for a couple weeks now. Beat Kentucky and you're in, bud. I mean, yeesh. No South Carolina was kind of sad to see them not get in the playoff. They're a solid group, but again, beat LSU, beat Alabama, you're probably in. They beat Clemson, so good for them. And then, of course, no Miami in the college football playoff either. You lose to two mediocre teams. Unfortunately, Georgia Tech turned out to be a mediocre team this year for our case, but hey, solid wins. Next year, in my opinion, I think there should be no more conference champion auto bids. Just seed the damn thing 1 through 12. Go top to bottom, the best team 1 through 12, JR. No more auto bids.
Fair. I think they should also look at reseeding too after the first round. If you look at Penn State's path, they've got quite an easy path compared to, hypothetically speaking, to Oregon. I think there's going to be tweaks obviously coming in 2 years, so we're not long for this format anyway. So
right,
we'll see. But yeah, it's not ideal. But hey, we're in. Listen. Who should be in? Who should be out? Go in those games. Don't lose 3 times. Don't be on the cliff. Done.
They got it right. 100%. They got the teams right. They did not get the seeding right, but they got the teams right.
And credit to SMU for fighting their ass off to get back in it, because had they got the doors blown off, we'd be playing Alabama or somebody different.
Very true. Very, very true. The best matchup in this college football playoff first round, man, Ohio State and Tennessee is very intriguing to me, but the best matchup has to be Notre Dame and Indiana. I think a lot of eyes will be on this ball game. Obviously, it'll be the only game on that Friday night. So Notre Dame and Indiana has to be the best matchup in the first round in general, not just Friday night, obviously. But Ohio State, Tennessee is also one to keep your eye on. The times are set as well. Clemson at Texas, Saturday at 4 p.m. on TNT. Tennessee at Ohio State, Saturday night, 8 p.m. on ABC and ESPN. SMU at Penn State, Saturday, noon on TNT. So 2 TNT games. And I believe, if I'm correct, in 2 years again, when they redo this all again, TNT is going to get even more games. I believe they will have the majority of the first round games in the college football playoff. And then obviously Notre Dame and Indiana in South Bend is Friday night, 8 p.m. on ABC and ESPN. Under the lights. Love that on a Friday night. Love that. The quarterfinals. The Peach Bowl is January 1st at 1 p.m. on ESPN. The Rose Bowl is January 1st, 5 p.m. on ESPN. The Fiesta Bowl is December 31st at 7:30 on ESPN. And then the Sugar Bowl, the winner of Notre Dame and Indiana takes on Georgia. That is January 1st at 8:45 p.m. on ESPN. Oh, late night action there. And then, of course, the semifinals are the Orange Bowl, January 9th, 7:30 on ESPN. And then the Cotton Bowl will take place the day after on January 10th at 7:30. And then the College Football Playoff National Title in Atlanta, January 20th at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. Notre Dame has already played in Atlanta, by the way, and beat the brakes off of Georgia Tech. So, hey, maybe we got a little advantage there. We'll start, JR. We're not making picks yet. We're not doing the whole breakdown. right now, just looking at the bracket, who is your national champion?
Put me on the spot.
I'm going to ask everybody, so be prepared there. You're just always first. Because if you ain't first, you're last.
I think we have a tough road ahead of us. It's going to be difficult to go into Georgia and win a football game, assuming we can get past Indiana. But that's why you go to Texas A&M on opening night for that purpose alone. And even if you get past that, what's above you? Oregon, they look really tough.
Yes.
They can score a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is relatively sound. I wouldn't sleep on Ohio State either. Yeah, they have struggled against Michigan, but Michigan's not in this. I think they have the fourth best odds to win the national championship. I'm not a big believer in Texas. I think they've got warts, namely their coach. Who have they beaten? Their best win is over Texas A&M. SMU, I could argue that they're better than Texas. Their best win is over 9-3 Duke. And people will bash me, the ACC this, the ACC that. We blasted Georgia Tech, and they should have probably beat Georgia at Georgia. So that gives me hope as a Notre Dame fan, but I'd probably have to say Oregon if I had to.
Logan, national champion, just looking at the bracket.
And full confidence with JR there. Oregon is definitely the best team in the country. Not even close, in my opinion.
Dylan, you're always good for a hot take. Change it up a little bit here because I'm going Oregon as well.
Yeah, I'm going with a hot take. You know me. I go hot. Okay, we bring sizzle here to the show. That's my job here. So Oregon is the best team, hands down. 13-0. They've smoked everybody. To be fair, Penn State hung with them. Ohio State hung with them. It's hard to beat a team twice. I think Ohio State upsets Oregon. They get past Tennessee. See, this is where it's tricky for me. It's tricky here. Ohio State, Tennessee. If Tennessee wins that game, Oregon wins the national championship. If Ohio State at home can take care of Tennessee, they're moving on to the semifinals. Ohio State's in the national championship if they win the first round matchup.
Interesting.
I don't think they're winning the national championship, though. So I think Ohio State will get to the national championship if they win against Tennessee. Simply put, because they've already seen Oregon. I was sitting there watching that game thinking, how would Ohio State handle this game? They would not have allowed Oregon to give up to score that many points. Their defense was getting cooked by Drew Aller. I would assume that they'd make enough adjustments to win that game. So there's my spot. Ohio State makes it there. Okay. And I'm kind of foreshadowing a little bit here because I know I won't be on the show that we break it all down here. So I kind of want to give the other side take. I think whoever wins Notre Dame, Georgia is going to win the national championship as well. Will win the national championship. Not get there, win. So I think Georgia, if they beat Notre Dame, I think they could beat a Penn State. They could beat anyone else in their path. And I think Georgia, if Georgia faces Ohio State, we're going to see another one of those, this time in the big show. And I think it also comes down to Carson Beck's health. But whoever wins Georgia, it's the national champion is either Notre Dame or Georgia.
Okay. All right.
Against Ohio State.
I really can see us getting to the national championship. I'm just going to say that right now. I really can. I think we can get past IU. If Beck doesn't play, I think we can get past Georgia. Beck's health is questionable right now, but even with him in the game, that kid, he likes to throw interceptions, man. And against our secondary, I like our matchup against Georgia too. I don't think we'll get blown out. I like our matchup. And if we can get past Georgia, I think Boise State, I truly believe Boise State will be in that semifinal. I think we can make a run against Ashton Genty and the Broncos. I think we can get to the national title. However, I think Oregon is hands down the best team of the country and the team to beat, and I just do not see anybody that can match up well with the Ducks in this 12-team era of the playoff. Dylan, you raised your hand. Go ahead, son.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing here when it comes to the national championship. And what it brings. We talked about this weeks ago. What coach has won a national championship? Only Kirby Smart. So I think coaches in this spot comes down to it too.
BYOC.
Dabo's not sneaking by. His team's bad and he knows it. I mean, his team is bad, and he knows there's no way. But I'm saying, like, true contenders, Kirby Smart's the only one that's won the damn thing. So that's another reason why I think they scoot by. But yeah, I mean, that's just simply where I stand with good coaching, good teams, and good wins.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, before we get out of here, we want to pick America's game. This counts towards the standings. Dylan, welcome back for a week, buddy. Army versus Navy this upcoming Saturday at 3 p.m. on CBS. We'll start with our usual. Man, Dylan, good to have you back just for one game, huh?
Hey, I might do better this week.
Not too much to fall from there. 0-1 or 1-0. Go ahead, JR.
I'm going Army.
I am going Army as well.
Hot Take City. Just kidding. Give me Army.
I'm going with the Army Black Knights in this ball game as well. We thank you for watching this edition of the Golden Gnomers Report, the college football playoff reaction show on a Sunday night. We thank you. It's a little rare that we come on here on Sunday night, but circumstances given what they are called for it. We are back next Monday to preview the Indiana Hoosiers and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish under the Friday night lights at college football's cathedral. Go Irish!